Here is a passionate man who believes in life, who wants to help everybody.
Somebody who is making a real difference in the world. We need to be more passionate as people, and I think Moustafa is somebody who's leading that effort.
If I can give you one advice, if you lack passion, call Moustafa.
I've not met a more passionate person in my life.
Being one of these 100 great leaders, 100 great coaches of the future, he's one of the winners.
Mr. Passion.
Hello everyone, how are you? Put your hands together, wake up, come on. Thank you very much. I know it's gonna get tough to close up. It's been a long day with a lot of information and everybody's tired and everybody's getting bored. So I've got a tough job of trying to make this worthwhile for you. So first thing, I want you to give yourselves a big round of applause because you guys are awesome. Give yourselves a big round of applause, you deserve it. Because I know a lot of people decided to leave, a lot of people decided to do other stuff, but you guys are what they call, with all respect to women, but last man standing. So you guys are the last man standing here, so you deserve that honor. So how many of you have seen me on stage before? All right, so you know what I'm doing next. 3, 2, 1. Nah. You know I'm not gonna start that. Let's try this side of the room. I say 3, 2, 1, you say passion. 3, 2, 1. Wow, I like that. Let's try this side of the room. 3, 2, 1. Good, I like it, that's the way. So I'll give you 9 though, not 10 yet. We'll try that at the end again. So again, you know why I'm doing this? Because I'm setting you up for success. Who wants to be successful here? Well, if you want success, you have to understand the power plant does not have energy, it generates energy. So the energy and the passion is gonna come from who? It's gonna come from you guys. Now talking about impact. We are here, and Dr. Aleem, thank you very much for putting, I know he puts a lot of these conferences throughout the year, and it's his hobby, it's his baby, but he does that because he wants to have a big impact to the world. He's doing all of this, and you know what? Respect to him. He's sitting here all day, no matter what time you come, he's sitting here, front row, listening to everybody. So thank you very much for doing that. And I know you're all here because you also would like to have some sort of impact in your life, correct? So how many of you believes that you have so much knowledge inside your head and you wish and you would love to be able to just transmit it from your head to somebody else's head? Yes? Put your hands up if you got that. Everybody at least in this room. Everybody in this room, because some people are not here. But whoever is staying here, you've got something to contribute and you would like to find better ways to do it, and that's why you're listening to the people that have been on stage earlier. So the question is, in that journey, you want to be able, okay, to define yourself as either an expert, an author, a speaker, or a coach. So let me understand the room a little bit. Who here is a speaker or a coach or an author? Put your hands up. All right, so we've got a good chunk of you there. Or at least, are you aspiring to be a speaker, a coach, or an author? All right, we've got more aspiring. Or a professional in your field, but you've got enough knowledge to share with the world. We had a lot of professionals here that were not professional speakers, but they're professionals in their field sharing the knowledge. So the point is, all of these are what I group as an expert, okay? So speaking and coaching and all of these things are just a tool, but the reality is all of these people are grouped as experts. And the challenge today is, as an expert, you want to stand out, correct? Because when you say I'm an expert, today we're talking about branding and marketing, and everybody probably that came on stage is in some way, shape, or form is an expert on marketing, correct? But we all want to stand out. So my question is, if you want to stand out in a room of your peers and be recognized as an expert, what is it that you have to do that? So let me say the question again. Let's try this. How many of you are an expert in the finance field? Put your hands up. Put your hands up, okay? Yeah, hands up, hand up. You see how many hands in the room, okay? And probably would have had more. How many of you are experts in branding, marketing, media? Hands up. All right, you see, and this is a small room, so can you imagine that it's getting really tough for you to be able to position yourself differently to everybody else? So I would like to give you guys a copy of my Passion Journey online course, which is a course that I've just developed to help people discover and live their passion. Who'd like to win that? This is the world's most comprehensive, by the way, passion discovery. You know this, I've been researching this for like 3-4 years, and I just filmed it last week. So I've got one seat to give away, and the person who's gonna win it tells me what is the best. And you know, I'm kind of one of the most personally branded individuals around this part of the world, at least, if not globally. Like, I've built my brand from scratch, from a couple of years till today, to a global brand. You've seen my journey, yeah? Some of you have seen me from scratch. In 2 years, I came out from nowhere, and I'm already positioned globally. However, I've learned that there's one specific tool that was the strongest out of all of them. So when I came back, and I'll tell you when's the question, not yet. So here's the thing. When I came back from India, I know I bought a one-way ticket to India in 2012, came back 2013, and then a random guy passing by, he says, hey, you're that speaker guy. I said, yeah. He goes, you did your talk about India. I said, yeah. He goes, you changed my life. And I was like, yes, that's what I want to do. I want to get more of that. I became addicted. Like, I was introduced to the most amazing drug. When a person walks up to you and says, you changed my life, with a genuine look in their face, oh my God. Like, and I'm going to say this thing in Arabic, and excuse me for the English, but in Arabic understands more. But there's a hadith on Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam that says, لَأَنْ يَهْدِيَ اللَّهُ بِكَ نَفْسًا خَيْرٌ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا وَمَا عَلَيْهَا. One, only one. So when I got that one, I became greedy. I wanted to do more and more and more. And I'm like, I'm going to become a speaker. And I'm going to start telling my story and inspiring the world. And now I'm going to go tell this journey. And every time I get on stage, everybody's going to recognize me as an expert on the topic of changing people's lives. And I'm going to become famous. And life is going to be amazing because I'm going to do what I love. And I'm going to make money. And I will change people's lives. Right? Wrong. Because the minute I decided to do that, and I got on stage, guess what? I was in a conference, after conference, and I realized that the industry of the experts and the speakers sounds a lot like this. What do you want? What do you want? How do you want it? I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying that in the fact that as a professional speaker who gets paid for speaking, who has to make a living from speaking, most of the speakers out in the market are either not making enough living, they have a good cause, but the biggest cause they need to do is serve their families, and they suddenly start struggling paying the bills. They're stuck between their heart, who's wanting to serve, and the real needs of life, and or do not have big enough of a following. So they have a great message, but they don't have enough following to listen to their message. So I started asking myself, I'm like, this is not going to be good, because I've just sacrificed a lot of my existing business to be able to get more of that, and now I'm not getting neither. I'm not getting enough people following me, and I'm not getting enough money to take care of my life. So the question is, where am I going to find the answer? So I started researching. Can you guys lower the feed on the audio? Lower the audio feed a little bit. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know, just cable. Well, can someone check the cable, guys? So, while the team is working on it, so I'll continue with the story. Just unplug it and plug it again. Unplug it and plug it again. So while I was doing that, I started looking for options and research on how do I find the next secret to be able to brand myself. So what's the best thing to do when you don't know how to do something? Even better, unplug it, unplug it. Learn from who? Where do you learn from? Thank you. From internet, you do research. But who and what do you research? Thank you very much. So I started putting all these figures that I'd aspire to some form of learning from them and say, okay, let me look, Brian Tracy. I started researching Brian Tracy. Let me look at Richard Branson. Let me look at Mark Cuban. Let me look at Warren Buffett. Let me look at Ted Turner. Sorry for this, but it used to be when he was still in business. He used to be a great person. I don't know what happened to him. He should have never got to politics, but due honesty, he was a phenomenal businessman. Maybe not a great politician, but when he was in business, there was something to learn from him. and Bloomberg and you know, Bill Gates, and I started researching all of these people to find out what is it that made them successful, and I was looking for the common factor. Now, of course, one of the common factors was that they all had passion, because they said be passionate about it, and this is why I got on my journey to passion. However, and they said never quit, and passion makes you never quit, okay? However, I revisited that research a year later, because for the first year, I was passionate and I didn't quit, but I still was not making enough money from my speaking gigs, and I did not develop a big enough following. So I was not branded the way I wanted to. And then it dawned on me, there was something else common between all of them, and the person who will tell me what that is will win the passion journey. Yeah, obviously, I just told you that, so obviously there was something else. Yes, but I researched them because they're successful. They all had books. They all had books. And it dawned on me, I'm like, aha! This is the missing element. Because I started dressing well, I started color coordinating, wearing funky shoes, wearing bow ties, so I did all of this stuff. But all of this was more glitz and glamour, but it wasn't substance. It wasn't spreading the message. It was making me look better on stage, it made me stand out a little bit more. And as I was speaking, other people are speaking, so knowledge is shared also. Let's be the reality. No matter how much knowledge I'm sharing with you, almost none of what I told you is new, correct? So, but there was something that made people recognize authority the minute I published a book. Because when I published a book, on top of me being an expert, I got what? I got authority. Because now your knowledge has been taken out from the realm of fun in your head into a document that is structured, that has the ability to transfer the knowledge. You remember, we said we're doing all of this to do what? To transfer the knowledge. And this is why I was referring to that. Because Dr. Alim has a lot of these books, and you know what it means, yeah? And you know what's more important? It's not about the book, because I thought it was about the book. However, what's more important about the book is the person you become at the end of finishing your book. It's actually more for me that the process of producing the book made me a different person from one book to the next, from one book to the next. So my first book, luckily, was with Brian Tracy. So I'm the first Arab to author with Brian Tracy. Thank you. And then I went on to win the National Academy of Best-Selling Authors, the first Arab to win that with Brian Tracy. So you can see I was genuinely, like the smile on my face, I'm like, oh my God, I finally did it. However, the process to getting there was more like this. Especially for a first, but that's why I stopped wearing bow ties. Like this is safer. I can't choke myself with this. Because I realized that this is more like chemistry. However, once I started figuring out the formula, and I know Doctor will resonate with me, the first book was the hardest. Then the second book becomes easier. Then the third book becomes easier. And suddenly I realized there are blocks that stop everybody. Every one of you has got a book inside of them. Every single person in this room, he's got a book inside of them. He or she have got a book inside of them. And I'll tell you quickly, the 3 or 4, well, I'll tell you 10, but you pick up which one is your mental block. And I'm telling you guys, it's a mental block, by the way. Am I making sense? If you want me to stop, I'll stop. I know I'm running over time. So if you want me to get off stage, say get off stage. So, 1 is lack of confidence. 2 is time and procrastination. Lack of effective messaging. Working hard one-to-one. Not enough leads. Not enough cash flow. Lack of income streams. Poor marketing outcomes. Fear of selling. And ineffective selling. These are the blocks that actually stop anybody from producing their books. So if you have any of these, you're probably going to find it hard. If you have a combination of them, it's going to be almost impossible for you to get your book out. However, equally, I've learned that there is a system to producing everything. Yes, doctor? Once you figure out the system, you become like a machine. because you know how to do, what to do, when to do, and you just get on with it, and you suddenly produce a book after book after book after book. It becomes fun. Brian Tracy has got over 55 books, and I know he could have done more if he wanted to. Because it's a system. Once you figure out a system, you do it.